Oh, let me tell you something. Busting makes me feel good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate the movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today, Quincy Jones.
Hey, everyone. It's Quincy Jones.
What's up, Quincy?
What's going on, Jay?
Not much, man. I had to have you on as soon as you told me that you hated this movie. Originally, we were going to talk about the Royal Tenenbaums.
Hate that movie also. A lot of movies I hate. I'm a hater.
You're a hater,
I'm a
which
hater.
makes you perfect for the show.
And a great comedian.
But the comedy's so much comedy's good about hate,
Right?
You know. But the problem that I had with you on a film criticism level, as soon as you told me about this movie, which you hated, it's my favorite movie of 2018. That movie is Hereditary.
Oh my gosh, bro!
It's my favorite movie of last year, dude.
I watched it with my old lady, and I was seething. And like she'd been like, I ordered off Apple TV, dog, and watched it, and it was just like, oh my god, the movie was bad. The movie was bad. It was like such a bad movie.
It's
like
okay.
You guys, you don't know me. I'm really a laid back dude normally. I'm intensely I'm passionate about the disdain for this movie.
I can see it.
I don't like this movie, and the hype that it got, it was terrifying. It made no sense.
Oh man,
I don't know who
disagree.
directed it. I didn't even Google who directed it. Who directed it?
Ari Aster. So it's first time director. So this is here.
Hopefully last.
I don't think so.
Or he does a different genre.
He's already got another horror movie in the works, Quincy.
Oh man,
sorry to burst your bubble.
You know what? I'm glad it is classified as horror because it was horrible. That's what it is.
Man,
okay. Horrible.
Let's get into it. This movie, if you hadn't seen it, you should check it out. It's a great movie. 2018 American supernatural psychological horror film written and directed by Ari Aster. Stars Toni Collette, Alex Wolff, Millie Shapiro, and Gabriel Byrne as a family haunted by the death of their secretive grandmother. So the movie...
Oh, sorry, just yawned. I couldn't even stifle the yawn. Go ahead, continue.
The movie, it's this movie, and it follows, we're spoiling things because this movie's podcast is all about spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, it's your fault at this point. But the movie has basically... I don't know why you think it doesn't make sense. It's pretty linear. Everything kind of falls in line with like a pretty direct plot, which has some twists and turns in it. But
what twists and turns?
I mean, so the mom is dead at the very beginning of the movie. It's obvious.
The mom is dead?
Or the grandma, excuse me. Yeah, the mom's mom.
Yeah.
Toni Collette's mom.
Yeah, right.
Then you've got the kid, the ugly kid and the normal child.
True.
Are both being weird. The young kid gets decapitated like 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
And
that part made me jump.
It's a scary part.
Yeah, that part made me jump. I'm not going to lie.
Because it's the cut from total black to just this like fly-infested head on a street.
Yeah.
And that lingers and it sits there for probably, it feels like a long time. It's probably in reality only like a 10-second static shot, maybe even less than that.
Yeah.
But the music's sting and it feels like it's so long. And then after that point happens, the ghost of the girl starts haunting the family and weird shit starts to happen. And then from there, this cult that the grandma was involved in comes into play. The ghost is revealed to be an evil spirit that the cult is worshiping. And at the end of the movie, everybody dies. The spirit goes into the proper host, which is the teenage son who survives the movie in at least some form. And the cult wins. What's not straightforward about that?
As he explained it, folks, you heard right there. It was like okay, so the mom dies. First of all, let me say Toni Collette acted her ass off in that movie.
She does. She acts her ass off.
Now, that was... and Toni Collette, honestly, I wouldn't even say she's underrated. I feel like she's not as lauded as other actors and actresses.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but she brings a distinct thing. I remember watching her in an old movie with someone else. She just steals the show every single time. It's called The Kids Are All Right. That came out like way back.
I remember. That's
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Annette Bening is in there too.
Right, but that was the other. Yeah.
Yes.
So I like Toni Collette. I went into the movie. My girl wanted to see the movie. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna fucking get the movie.
And did you know anything about it, or was it just your girl who was really interested?
She was into it.
Okay.
She was really into like horror stuff.
Gotcha.
Right. So watching it, first of all, it's a slow movie.
It is. Yeah.
It's a slow movie. And I was like, okay, cool. Watch it. The mom dies. Toni Collette acts, does that, what she does with the diagrams, you know what I'm saying? When she's building
little dioramas. Yeah.
like dioramas, thank you.
The miniatures.
Little dioramas. Like that was cool. The dude, the husband, who I recognized him from Usual Suspects.
Yep.
All right. Solid. The kid, the teenage son, the party scene, the girl. The girl was like creepy. She was the creep. Like I don't. Did they distort her face or she like did look?
They gave her facial prosthetics.
Yeah.
They made her face. I mean, she's already not a very good-looking child.
Yeah, she's an ugly kid.
She's an ugly kid.
Yeah.
We can all agree on that if you look at pictures.
She's weird. Like there's just things that it was like I sort of got the host thing, possible, but also like I feel like this movie's for people who are like into energies and saging their apartments and shit like that. And like not even
people who go shop at crystal stores.
Yeah,
if you're hitting up the
real.
House of Intuition, this is your movie.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So when I was sitting there watching it, I'm watching it. I'm like, because I've heard the hype about it, so I'm watching it with no expectations, But when I watch it, I was like, this is slow. It's like a 2 hour. It's like a 2 hour 15-minute movie.
Yeah, just about. It's about. Let's see, 127 minutes. Yeah, it's like 2 hours, 7 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours, 7 minutes. So it's a long movie for it to end. And then the girl was creepy. And then the people go to like tarot cards or psychics or stuff like that, or who do Ouija boards or people,
they do a seance at one point in the
people who
movie.
do shit like that would like this movie. I'm not into that shit, so I don't do it. I don't believe in none of that. I don't do like.
All right, it's right off the bat. That makes sense why you didn't like it.
Right. So they did the seance. I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I'm like anti it. I just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I have a beef with it or a fear or phobia. It's like just not into it. So, they do the seance, and like the lady was like, oh yeah, I've been talking to my son and this, that, and the third, and like, you got to do it. You got to do that. When the glasses, like visually, the movie was cool. Visually.
Yeah, I agree for sure on that.
The movie itself was there was no stellar dialogue. I think Toni Collette took the dialogue and made it her own. That was the best part. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, here we go. Here's some takes.
Yeah, I thought the dialogue when she was cussing out her son, you know what I'm saying, at the dinner table, that dinner scene, so powerful. So fucking powerful. Like you almost believe that it was actually her kid, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. The son's eyes were almost black. They were almost black, and like I sensed that he acted his ass off with fear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure he did.
But like there were a couple scenes where I was like, I don't think this has anything to do with the movie. And then the ending.
Yeah. Let me ask you about those scenes then. What do you think? What were the things that took you out of it the most? Because it kind of sounds like you liked a lot of parts about the movie, but as a whole, there were things that kept you from actually enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought like maybe like I guess the recurring nightmare scene that like he had a nightmare.
Yeah,
scene like that. Like it was like
he had the recurrent. Let's see. I'm looking on the Wikipedia page. Shout out to Wikipedia. See if we can pull this up. Yeah, he's got a lot of visions of Charlie, the daughter, who his death. Or her death, he's directly involved in. Okay. Sort of accidentally, but he's involved in it nonetheless. So he keeps having these recurring nightmares involving her. There's recurring nightmares involving his mom as well. So those took you out.
Those took me out. I thought maybe the party scene lasted a little too long.
Okay.
That the party scene lasted. Because for me, I'm thinking like, and maybe it's because I'm a writer and I'm a comic, so I sort of wanted not like the beats, but I needed the pace to be faster. Like they made the scene too long. You know what I'm saying? Like the party scene. He goes in, hey, I'm trying to hook up with the chick. Then they're smoking. You know what I'm saying, in the room. And then suddenly, he carries her out, and it was just really, really weird. I didn't like the movie. I didn't
what
like
else was so weird about it to you?
Like, dude,
it is. I mean,
they're living in the trees. The ending. I got the part about the host entering the right body, but the kid didn't know. Like, we thought I thought there was a different host. I thought the grandma's spirit went into a different body. I thought it was in a kid. I thought it was in the girl.
Ah, see, that's the thing. So that's okay.
Like
it wasn't the grandma's spirit at all.
Well, see, there you go.
There we go. Okay.
So what was it?
It was the demon that they were worshiping, Payman.
Right. So what demon?
The demon.
Like I know the ending. I know the ending. Right. That part. But like, where did the demon originate from?
Who knows? I don't know where the demon. Oh, hell, where do demons come from?
Well, no, that's the thing. That's the
I
thing.
don't know.
So you just had a weird girl who died, and I thought the demon was in the weird
The
girl.
demon. See, here's the thing. The demon was in the weird girl. You're right. The demon was supposed to be in a boy.
Okay.
The demon was supposed to be in a boy all along. That's why at the end of the movie, the demon goes into the teenage son, and everyone's like, "Hey, great! Demon's finally where it's supposed to be. We're all naked. We're gonna chant, and the movie's gonna
Dude, they
end."
get buck naked in a treehouse. The kid
Yeah.
didn't
After the decapitated corpse of Toni Collette is just floating up
right
in one of the creepiest. I mean, this a movie full of like creepy standout imagery. That's one of the most like unsettling shots of the whole thing. Is just watching her body,
the dead body in the attic, like in the corner, like in this, like I said, visually, this movie was fucking incredible. I'm not a hater. Like even the solitude scene of them, like just like a house in the middle of the forest. It felt like it was in the middle of the forest, damn near. And I was like, just that shot. I looked at it like videography wise, I thought the movie was dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be a hater in that, but it wasn't as clear to me, and I don't think it was clear to a few other people I know who were
fair.
It's like, oh, okay, so the demon was in the girl. Like the girl was weird as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
She was creepy as fuck.
Oh yeah.
The
Great job on that girl's part. The clicking.
I was like, whoa. I was like, she do that, and like it was like, all right, man. And then like she's like, she need just like I'm replaying it in my head, dude. That movie sticks with you.
It does. It's a really indelible movie. Like it gets deep inside.
Yeah, because you're like, all right, man. Because like I saw it once, and we watched it late at night, and I was like, all right, I never need to see this movie again. you guys know the movies where like a lot of the great movies, we don't ever really rewatch them.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm never gonna watch Fruitvale Station again. I'm never gonna watch 12 Years a Slave again. I'm never gonna watch Precious again. These are like you see them, cool, got it, boom. Get Out, you can always watch that.
Right. Well, there's something different about it's like you were required reading when you were in school, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, I think, where there's a lot of books that are supposedly the classics, and so you read them. But you read them once and then you basically never read them again. Like there are some books that you want to reread. There are some movies that you want to rewatch. Some TV shows that you want to rewatch. Yeah. But there's some stuff that's really great, but also I could not bring myself to watch that movie again. Like Requiem for a Dream. Yeah. I think Requiem for a Dream is a fantastic movie, but I have no desire to watch it again. Right. Because it's a brutal movie.
I think the one thing that, for books or for everything, when we use the word classic, is it has to be the test of time. Right. It has to stand the test of time. So there is no instant classic. There is no, it has to be like, yo, put this on. Like when I ask people what their favorite movies are, my definition of favorite movie is we've seen it a million times. It comes on cable on a Sunday and you still watch it with commercials. Right. Like you like, I already know how Gladiator ends. But I'm like, oh, he's about to fight the tiger. I'm about to fuck with this movie. You know what I'm saying? This is my part. So that's when it's sort of like when you ask someone like who their favorite rapper or favorite bands are. Don't tell me the classics, dude. Don't tell me like, oh, I love Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. Cool. I get that. I remember my dad's record collection too. Right, of course. Tell me what the fuck the new shit. When you ask someone their favorite comics, I love Burr and Louis C.K. and
good
Seinfeld.
For you.
Yeah.
You're on a Netflix subscription.
Great. Now tell me who you like. Oh, Rory Scovel, Nate Bargatze, Kyle Kinane. Also legends, you know what I'm saying? But like modern. You know what I'm saying? Like so when we talk about movies that are classics or modern or reading book like classic literature, a lot of those don't stand the test of time. Yeah. Like, I went back and read Catch-22 recently, and I was like, this was in high school we were reading this too? This is not a good book. It does not stand. You read a lot of old like Hemingway. You're like this. I get is why his whole family was depressed, dude. And
of course. It makes sense. He's total alcoholic. Great,
right?
Perfect.
So I'm looking at him like, okay, cool. So with this movie, I feel like first time director. Like even with me saying I hate the movie, I can also look at it and be like, good videography. You know what I'm saying? And great acting. I don't think anyone else could have played that Toni Collette role.
And that's the thing. Toni Collette is such a great actress just in general, but in this movie she's really doing something special, I think. And it makes me so upset that she's not getting any kind of awards love for this movie. She's not going to get a Golden Globe nomination. She already didn't get a Golden Globe nomination. We already know that. Didn't get a SAG Award nomination. At that point, missing out on those two means it's probably pretty doubtful that she's going to wind up with an Oscar nomination. And she absolutely deserves one for this movie.
I concur. Because like Toni Collette does this thing. I watched this movie called Hearts Beat Loud. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's Nick Offerman's in the movie, right?
in the movie. Yeah, Kiersey Clemens. And I watched it and Toni Collette was in the movie. And like she does this thing because like I study film, but not pretentious wise. So like I watch what she does, and she does this thing where she speeds up her monologue, and like in a way that like you sense the manic of what they're trying. Like she takes the words off the page and like acts them. You know what I'm saying? Like she'd be like, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, and we weren't really, I really wasn't really close with my mother, and it was just like there was no one else could play that role. You know what I'm saying? Like I would even go so far as to say like there aren't that many great actors out there. Like there are box office hits. I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio has acted in a long time.
No, I'm with you there. But the thing is, Leonardo DiCaprio is a huge box office draw.
Exactly. But we're talking about acting like I wrote a joke about it. I was like, a great actor or actress does something so distinct that no one else does. Nobody runs like Tom Cruise, period. No one.
Right.
In any movie, like
that's why on every poster he's on, he's running.
Dude, I watched The Firm. He does a sprint through the fucking hallway, 40-yard dash in dress shoes. He's killing that. No one does the incredulous chuckle like Denzel. No one says motherfucker like Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
No one cries like Viola Davis. You know what I'm saying? So you look at that. I look at Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm like, oh, he just chooses great roles. Like he chooses great movies. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't act.
Right.
You know, I haven't really seen him really act to me since Catch Me If You Can.
He's doing about the same thing in every movie. I mean, and that's the thing, I really like watching Leonardo DiCaprio. One of my, the first movie we ever talked about on the show was Wolf of Wall Street. And Wolf of Wall Street, I think, is a great movie.
Too long.
But the thing is, Leonardo DiCaprio puts on the performance that's like, okay, cool, I can keep watching this because it's like fun to watch with Leonardo DiCaprio just being a piece of shit.
Right.
And yeah, I can get through the 3 hours of this movie based on Leonardo DiCaprio's likability. But he's not doing an exciting job as an actor in that movie.
No.
He's not breaking new ground. The only part in that movie that he's really doing any real acting with like a capital A is in the scene when he's on the Quaaludes. Yeah, he's flopping around.
Yeah, there's that, or when he like, I love the one part of the movie I loved in Wolf of Wall Street was where like he thought like he got in the car, he drove home, and then like what really happened. It was, you know what I'm saying, like dragging him to
that's the best part because it's like Buster Keaton level physical comedy.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, cool. Toni Collette just acts her like you name me a role like I was saying like she's in the Hearts Beat Loud movie. She plays like the landlord for Nick Offerman in the record, and like she acts like she can just act. She's just so fucking good, act. Like, did she go to like what Juilliard? Like I don't even know.
She probably did. I mean, she's Australian.
I did not know that.
I did not know that until just now.
Wow.
She went to the National Institute of Dramatic Art in Australia and the Australian Theatre for Young People, which is another prestigious acting school. But I legitimately had no idea she was Australian until right now.
I did not know. Isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy when like, first of all, I think British actors and like people overseas are better actors than American actors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like when they come and do an American accent, you're sort of like, yo, I thought you were American.
Oh, yeah. Well, that happened everything when Christian Bale won for Vice. Everybody was freaking out about that because people forgot that he was British.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like granted, it's still like what makes it funny to like hear him be British is, or not hear him, like when I hear him speak normally, it just makes me laugh even harder at the Batman movies where it's like, what are you doing?
It's still, I don't know. Yeah, why did you do that?
It's like, that's just like, so like he's not only channeling an American, what he thinks American sounds like, he's now dropping his voice. Octus, what I gotta do? Oh, Joker, what's going on? It's just like that. And damn, I didn't know she was Australian, bro.
Me either, man. But all right, so let's get back to the movie and your experience with it. So you're watching the movie, you're watching it at home on your Apple TV.
Yeah.
What are the points where you start to feel that you're not going to like it? Like how early on did you realize?
Oh, it was slow.
I'm done.
It was slow. So I mentally checked out of the movie until like the kid lost his head.
Okay.
Then they did the fly shot, and then like. It was weird, like, he didn't tell his parents.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It's a weird choice.
Like,
as
I was
a character, why would you not tell your parents? But he's I mean, he's in shock, so I can kind of understand.
I get the shock. But he didn't tell. Like they had to go downstairs. Like that was like the craziest. I was like, all right. I feel like if I went out with my sibling and when I come home and my sibling's dead, I would relay something. Something happened, you know. I'd say something to my parents,
Right?
So that was like, all right. The kid, like, you know,
it would feel. I mean, now that I think about it, it is hard to think about what I would do because I have a younger sister. The age difference is about the same as it was in the movie.
Okay,
and I am sitting here thinking, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably just drive away from home completely. Like if my sister was as ugly as this girl was in the movie and she got decapitated, I'd be like, listen, this is better off for the whole rest of the family.
Did you just keep
you
driving?
You don't have to deal with our ugly daughter. I'm just out. I'm gone.
Like, there's no, I'm not. I lost everything. I'm out. No, I really like, there's that part.
But then after that, that's when all the weird supernatural stuff that you don't like also comes into play.
And it came in so strongly. It wasn't like subtle. It was like a gradual thing. It wasn't like we saw Toni Collette, like, you know, lightning, you know, doing any sight, and like she wasn't into it. I think that's what made it crazy. Like she didn't do seances. So for her to like go suddenly talk to, you know, the old white lady. And I think like she goes back to the house, right? The old lady's house.
Yeah, she goes a couple times because she goes there to sort of just meet with her.
Right.
And then she goes and actually does the seance.
Right.
And learns the technique for doing it.
Right.
And then tries to go back once she realizes that she's a part of this weird cult and tries to figure out what's going on.
Is that what it was? A weird cult thing?
Yeah. Because she figured out that the doormat was in the same design as the art that the grandma was making. Then she found the pictures of them together in the weird scrapbook.
Right.
And then it was like, oh shit, they're in this weird cult together. What's up with the demons? Did I bring a demon into my house? And she tries to go and talk to her again, but everything's abandoned. Everything's gone.
Right.
And then we see all the symbols that have been popping up over the course of the movie all come into play at once in this shot of the empty house or apartment or whatever we want to call it. And as Toni Collette is just banging the door trying to get in.
I was like, yo, like. So I think as you guys are hearing right now, I did not make that connection initially. I did not. I mean, I didn't make the connection like, that it was a cult. I thought it was just people, you know, doing seance, right?
Right.
So I was like, okay. So I thought it was just. I only saw it individually. I didn't see it collectively. Because I also didn't know that the mom was into that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I didn't get that. I'm not gonna go back and watch it, but I didn't get that.
See, that's what I think you should go back and watch it. Because I feel like here's what I'll say about the movie. It's definitely a movie that requires patience, and I am generally like you. I'm not a very patient moviegoer. I really want things to like kick into gear.
Yeah.
I like things that are a little fast paced. I like movies that are under 2 hours.
Yeah.
But occasionally a movie comes along like Hereditary that somehow grabs me despite it being the kind of movie that I not normally am into.
Right.
And it requires you, there's a lot of stuff that you have to, that just not even you have to pick up on, but that are breadcrumbs dropped by the director.
Right.
You can tell very early on in the movie, they do these shots of, say, the grandma's room after the funeral. And there's stuff carved into the wall, right? And you don't know what it means.
Right.
But at that point, you're also in the same point as a character where they don't know what it means either. Like, what is this? Why is this thing carved into? What's this symbol?
Yeah.
But then it's dropped and it's not brought up again until so much later in the movie. You don't get that payoff. I think if you were to rewatch it, you might wind up being able now that you know some of the things that were unclear, you might enjoy it more.
I mean, and I feel like that's usually what makes people like dislike things. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's non-believable. Sometimes there's like one part in the play you're like, that's not. I can't even suspend my reality enough to believe that this would ever happen. And even in an alternate universe, that wouldn't happen. Like I said, when the kid's head rolled out, he didn't say anything. I'm like, I couldn't, like, even in the way I was like,
okay,
come on.
That's fair.
Okay, so there's that, you know. So that's kind of cool. I didn't know that the seance was inviting demons, but I also don't know shit about seances. I know that's where you communicate with like the dead or lost ones. So
I feel like seances are definitely much more of a white people pastime,
without a doubt,
than a black people pastime.
Right. And so I was like, all right, okay, word, all right. So now you're saying that I'm like, okay, I get it. So the lady, you know, which is smooth, but like the kid was creepy. Like the girl, she picked up the dead pigeon.
Yeah. Cuts its head off with the scissors.
Yeah.
So unsettling.
Like, I was like, but why? It had no point to it. These were just visual things that were sprinkled. Like, that's what I felt the director did. Script was written. He's like, I could bring this to life. But I got to add some shit. Because when they looked at the fucking final cut time, I'm sure they edited down to 2 hours and 7 minutes. So I'm sure this was originally like a longer, maybe 240 at least.
Could be, I'd believe that.
So they're like, all right, well, no one's going to fucking watch. Like, I got to do something. I got to incorporate some shit that'll jar. Like the fucking, like you said, the still headshot with the gnats flying on it. The kid cutting off the thing. Like the pigeon flying into the window. The girl flying and cutting that. What'd she go off into the forest with? When she, like the girl. There was a scene where she like went off into the forest like burying something.
She's going off. Yeah, she buries.
She's like barefoot in the forest.
Something, I can't remember it. It's something, maybe she's sleepwalking or something like that. I don't know.
Because then like the brother had to go out and get her.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a lot of, here's what I will say. It doesn't sound like there are a lot of things about the actual, like the nuts and bolts of the movie you liked, but you don't think it adds up to the sum of its parts.
Well, here's the thing. One thing you gotta realize about me is I hate hype.
I was gonna ask you.
I hate hype.
This movie was super hyped.
Super hyped.
And are you a fan of horror movies normally too, or not really?
I don't get into them. I'm not like anti them. You know what I'm saying? But I also like I don't go out of my way to see them. I don't go out of my way to avoid them. I just don't. I just don't watch them. You know what I'm saying? Like although there was one movie, I think it was by Alfred Hitchcock called Vertigo.
Yes. Yeah. That's Alfred Hitchcock. Classic Hitchcock.
I didn't understand. I guess I don't understand it. I guess also when I think of horror, I'm thinking more of gore.
So you're thinking more like a slasher, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right, those styles.
Got it.
Although there's like one, like there always something is about a horror film that always sticks out to you. Like I forget which Freddy Krueger it was, but like it's like the ending scene where like Freddy Krueger, like the kid like has sensitive ear and he drops a bunch of pins and like the kid's head explodes or something like that, or like ears start bleeding. I don't know which one it is, but that's the one thing I remember from that movie.
Okay.
I think it's Freddy Krueger 2 or something like that.
All right. I haven't seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street, so I'm not sure.
Oh wow.
It's part of my own failure as a film lover, is that I still have all of this stuff that I haven't gotten around to watching yet.
But you should check it out. Like I think it's a Freddy Krueger second one. I'll Google it. But when I watch it, when I watch a movie, I'm like, all right. I'm a writer, so I look for the writing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't read screenplays. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, all right, I can see why they did that. Okay, I get why the actor cut that way. All right, cool. Okay, then you had the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had the videography. Okay, all right, I like it. Visually, like Wes Anderson films. We love Wes Anderson because they're aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Like the linear, like the detail he goes into. Like I just watched Fantastic Mr. Fox again. It stands the test of time.
Yep.
And it's a classic. Like it's just a visually appealing movie.
Yeah.
And so this thing about the movie, like about Hereditary, visually I was like, dope. Plot, not the strongest, not my favorite.
Okay.
Ending, I felt like the dismount was botched. I feel like it was a long wait to just say that the demon was in the wrong body. And also, I think they went the whole movie without even saying the word demon. I don't think they said the word demon in the movie at all.
I am not 100% sure on that.
And then leading up to the ending, leading up to it, I was like, yo, it's crazy. Like, I thought Toni Collette was going to fucking, when she figured out we got to burn it. And then, like, when the husband got fired, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? What is going on when she burns him? Like, we got to burn it. And he's like, yo, you crazy. You wilding out. All right. I'm here to help you. And she threw it in the fire, and he burst into flames. It was like, so was the demon really in him?
But it's all references to other stuff, too. That's the thing.
What is it referencing to?
That's a reference to the dream that she had and the sleepwalking that she used to do, where we're covering the kid in paint thinner and holding a lit match. And then she talks about it, and then you see that happen in the dream, and he wakes up and he's thinking he's on fire, and then all of a sudden he's not. And then the husband actually catching on fire. It all cycles back. It all feeds in on itself. It's all breadcrumbs. It's so dense and layered.
Nah, man, I'll tell you guys what. I'll go back and watch the movie.
Okay.
I'll watch it again. Hype-wise, it didn't live up to the hype. But white people hype up basic shit, though. That's one thing.
True.
I don't like white hype. Every white people movie I've seen that's been hyped up, I've always been like, you guys get us so easily misled, so easy. Like I'm like Lady Bird.
Oh, dude, Lady Bird is garbage. I'm with you.
All right, like you name because every year, and we're not even talking about the white movies that win the fucking Academy or awards. I didn't see Shape of Water.
It's some basic shit.
It sounds basic.
Shape of Water's basic as hell. So is Lady Bird.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, dude, white people gotta stop. I look at myself, I'm like, Quincy, you gotta stop falling for white hype. You gotta stop falling. It's like I believe it because so many people like it. I'm like, well, maybe I'm missing out.
Did you see A Star Is Born?
Another hype movie.
I was gonna say
another hype movie.
And I watched A Star Is Born, and I don't think it's a bad movie.
I felt nothing,
but it's definitely a basic movie.
What was another movie that you heard white people? Oh, sweet Jesus! This is the one where I was ready to fight every white person. I saw what was it? What was it with Gosling and Emma?
Oh, La La Land.
Bro, I almost picketed white people existence for a full fucking 3 months, dude. I was like, I can't. Like, this is...
You know what you should do is you should take... You know how they have those people who try and get you to sign petitions outside of Whole Foods? You should go for that and just petition to end white hype.
Dude,
and see how many white people you can get to sign on.
Dude, I like, there's so many movies, and you're just like, oh my God. Like, people are like, I cried. I'm like, you're telling a comic who followed his dreams, left his hometown, moved here, and lost many relationships grinding. You're telling me that you were sad because they didn't end up together? That was what did it for you. You cried. Like, you cried in these movies. Like, they said it like it was going so compelling. Like, I cried. I think the only movie I've cried in, there's 2 movies I've ever cried watching. It's this one movie called Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned. It has Lawrence Fishburne and another guy, I forget his name right now, and Natalie Cole. Natalie Cole's in the movie.
Okay.
It's a really good movie. And then 50-50, surprisingly.
Oh, yeah.
With Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
But the scene where, like, he's acting out, like he's feeling the rage, I think for me, I associate because when that movie came out, my mom had cancer, was dealing with cancer. I have cancer. I was dealing, and so when I watched it, I was like, man, I'm like, it gets dusty in this motherfucking house, man. It gets dusty. It gets dusty. So I watched it, man. I was like, all right, I fucks with it. But I don't know, man. I'll go for you because I love you, Jay. Because I fuck with you. I'm gonna watch it. You have 3 years sobriety coming up now, right?
I already just passed it.
Just passed it?
Yeah.
I will watch it on your 4th year sobriety this year.
Okay.
I will watch it again. I'm sure you'll post it. When was it? November, December?
On September 10th.
I'm going to rewatch it. Have me back on there, and I'll rewatch it. And then I'll tell you, okay, I'm open to it. Because I'm open.
Time.
I'm open to movies. I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to learning. But when I watch things, I'm like, all right, man. I don't even know if my girl liked it.
Because, well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I'm hearing you talk about it, and I think that logically your argument makes sense for why you didn't like it. It's because I didn't get all the pieces.
Yeah, right.
You didn't think that it added up to make a thing that made sense.
Right.
But I feel like if you go back and you watch it again, knowing some of the things that you didn't pick up on before, I think you'll like it. So just do that.
Open mind.
Keep an open mind.
Quincy has an open mind, folks.
And I can't wait to talk to you more about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Actually, I do something on my Instagram like Q's movie reviews.
Oh, boy.
Where the 3 categories are Test of Time, Sorry I'm Late, and What the Fuck. And I just did my, it's building, I'm growing it, but I look at movies to see if a movie stands the test of time, right? So all the classics. Sorry I'm Late, movies, usually white movies that I never watched.
Fair.
And then What the Fuck is like I watched a movie like this had to have been a studio write-off. They didn't promote this movie. Like I watched Hotel Artemis.
Oh yeah. I really wanted to see Hotel Artemis.
You really didn't. You didn't miss anything.
Okay.
But the cast, because I was like, I ordered off Apple TV. I remember
like Jodie Foster's in there, right?
Jodie Foster, Sterling K. Brown, Brian Tyree Henry.
Brian Tyree Henry's been killing it.
Yeah,
He's been so great.
And Jeff Goldblum makes it
great.
So I'm like, cast wise, on paper, this seems like something. Trailer wise, seems solid. I'm for it. Let's get it. I fucking watch it. I'm like, this is rubbish. I was like, what was the budget for 4 minutes? I don't even think they recouped it.
That's how much white hatred you had for this movie. You had to use a white people's word.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard a black man say rubbish before.
Rubbish.
Just now.
And when I watch bad British movies, I say bollocks. But yeah, no, like, so yeah, I love movies. So anyways, like those are the three things. So like this week I'm doing.
And this is perfect because what's your Instagram so people can take a look?
LLQJ206.
Nice.
So I'm on, if you follow Twitter, IG, LLQJ206. Please check it out. But I think this week I did, like this one, the what the fuck I did for this past week was being John Malkovich.
You didn't like being John Malkovich?
No.
Man.
No.
If only we had another time. Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk.
Again, well, this is part one with Quincy.
Quincy, you're going to have to be a repeat guest, man. This is how it works.
Dude, I think I think you and I might have to do a movie debate thing where we like, I might have to be like, you loved it, or I might like it, you hate it, whatever. But like that you liked it. I didn't. I'll be honest. I don't even know.
We'll figure it out later. We do got to wrap it up for the day.
All right.
Though.
Thanks for tuning in. Support J Light.
Yeah. Follow the podcast. Support it. Subscribe. Why don't you? At Diet J on Twitter and Instagram as well. And if you like the podcast, don't just subscribe and leave a review. How about you tell your friends about it too? Get someone else to listen.
Tell your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes. This has been Blockbusting. Go see something good for a change.